your style and your flavor make the city rock. They must say the season come out with a bang. Coach Minzy, best round here. Remember that.
Viewers and subscribers, welcome again to the Coach's Desk with your host, Coach Minzy. And we have in studio with us this morning, Raymond Leveridge. Raymond Leveridge, welcome to the Coach's Desk.
Yeah, man, thank you for having me, Minzy.
Yeah, man, it's a pleasure for us to have you here on set this morning. So we just want to jump right into it because we know, of course, you're a busy person. So let's get right into it. I want you to tell our viewers and subscribers what brought you into coaching and in particularly football.
Well, I think me getting into coaching was destined, because at no point in my life as a teenager, I thought about coaching. I was very good at sports though, very rounded, track and field, football, cricket, you name it, basketball. Once I took on a sport, I did pretty well at it. And I think fresh out of high school, wanting to move into architecture, I was waiting on a specific 6 years old, math to be exact. And teenage boy getting into trouble and stuff, and one day my old lady just look and say, hey, you're going to GC first time and you're boarding, and I don't want you to come back home. And it took off from there, literally took off. Excelled at GC, did pretty well there for myself, and right now I'm a full-time coach of football, I played cricket right through high school, dabbled in football, got injured most of the time, and then the passion grew to coach football more than any other sport that I did at GC while I was there.
All right, well said. Now, you made mention of playing cricket at high school, and for persons who don't know, you are one of the brothers of that famous cricketer there that played for Jamaica and the West Indies. What's his first name again?
Renard Leveridge.
Yes, yeah. Renard Leveridge. So he continued in cricket, but you continued in coaching. Is it that he was better than you, or just destiny?
I think it's destiny because, to be frank with you, he didn't play any cricket during high school. He was the one who played mostly football, hockey, those other sports, and I think it was just a natural ability. Your father, to be exact, played cricket at you'd say a semi-pro level, that back then in Jamaica you had the community leagues and the curryboard cricket, and our father was a pretty good standout all-rounder, batsman, medium pace bowler. So he pushed us both in cricket when we were at home, playing with each other and stuff. But my brother didn't take it seriously in high school. But he's naturally talented and gifted, so I think he just blossomed into the sport at a later stage while I transitioned away from the sport.
All right, good there. Now, you said that you're a full-time coach, Raymond, right? What sort of coaching qualifications do you possess, if any?
I currently have the CONCACAF D-licensing certification, which allows me to coach football right through the CONCACAF region. In the process, COVID stopped all of that, but I was in the process of getting the C license, which is a step up from the D license. So I can coach basically all age group right through the CONCACAF region. For those who don't know, a regular certification from GC, which allows us to teach physical education and coach sports at the basic level. But I'm a CONCACAF certified football coach.
Awesome. That's good to hear, man. So if it wasn't football, Raymond, would you consider coaching any other sport? Because you spoke about cricket as well, and I know you dabbled a bit in playing hockey at college. Talk to us about that.
Well, definitely, if it wasn't football, I think I'd be coaching track and field, to be frank. And I actually do coach it at the prep school level, and I think I do pretty well because my team is always in the top 10, top 5, thereabout every year. So if it wasn't football, I think I'd become a full-time track and field coach. Why? I think I enjoy coaching. What makes coaching fun for me and why I know I'd continue in it is I love to see the transition of an athlete who is struggling or who is not excelling, and you take them through that process, day in, day out, step by step, the motivational talks, the training programs and stuff, and then to see it all materialize and that joy on the athlete's face, that accomplishment. Sometimes it's not even winning a gold medal, but making that
Right.
achievement that you set out to get. So I enjoy seeing that transition in children, to be specific, because I did start out coaching adults. That's another story.
All right. So since you mentioned that, do you find it more easier to coach and to get your ideology, your philosophy across to the children as opposed to the adults?
Yes, it's easier, but that's not the main reason why I do it. I think it's more rewarding, and there's a need for quality coaching at our amateur or the level for our children. I think it's necessary. And why I saw that need from a personal perspective, when I left college, immediately I started working with a major league football team and an intercollegiate football team. So I did pretty well with the intercollegiate team, made it to the All-Ireland semi-final, won the D2, got promoted to D1. But the major league team was what opened my eyes to see the technical ability and the knowledge of the game of some of the adults who are supposedly trying to become national players and stuff. And when you try to correct them, the resistance you're met with and stuff, it was a big turnoff. So I realized then and there that why not try to change the whole understanding and the whole quality of our nation youth
Right.
from the earlier stage. So
Mm-hmm.
that moved me to work with the younger ones, and I enjoy it.
That's awesome there, because it's quite intriguing and appealing when you see a youngster that you worked with moving on to great things. It's a good feeling. I'm
Definitely.
sure that you'd have a lot of those cases that we'll be talking to you about that later on in the program. Now, Raymond, we understand that you're a boss, CEO of the Total Football Academy. Now, I want you to talk to us about how this idea came about and what is happening with the Total Football Academy.
All right. So it came about, just as I said, seeing that need for quality youngsters or even adults in the future. So after moving on from the major league team and now coaching at the primary level and the intercollegiate level just the same, I realized there were a lot of technical deficiencies in the older athletes. So I decided, all right, why not start an academy that can help to work on the basics that are needed to excel in the sport. So started out, just ran it as a summer camp. The first time I did it, it was 2012. That was the first time I did anything where academy is concerned, just a summer camp. And it was pretty successful, myself and one other coach. Started doing some one-off days during the week and things. But things really turned and got serious when I got certified at the CONCACAF level, and a wealth of new knowledge and what Europe is doing and stuff, and how far off we are as a country and we're youth. So I started the academy then. It wasn't Total Football Academy at that time. It was I think Fulfillment, something of that sort. And we started full-time Saturday training right throughout the year. Then in 2016, I went back to GC in 2014 to do the degree, and we stopped. And then when I came back, I officially started it to rename the Total Football Academy. And in 2016, we started operation. And just last year, before COVID, we registered as a full-fledged business and football academy because, we traveled before that to play in an ESPN tournament, and the financial part of it sparked questions, so we had to register to streamline all of that. So
yes.
We registered business, and it has been going from 4 years now, 2016, pretty good, and we've seen I personally have seen tremendous development in the boys we've been working with. We work with boys from 4 to 16, and I have 3 boys that I've worked with who have now represented the country at the youth level, in football. So.
That's awesome, and it fast forward my question of you having youngsters in your academy that you have worked with that would have done well. But one of the thing about it is that you made mention of you saw what you saw what Europe was about, right? And you wanted to bring that sort of environment to the youngsters in Jamaica. But it pushed me to this question, Raymond. Are you in contact with any agent, right, that works along with youngsters that would allow them to be propelled over there to Europe? Any connections that you have there for players? Because you don't want to just have an academy player, move them on, and they play for the national team or the youth team.
Right.
We want to ensure that you export players. Is anything like that happening?
That's the ultimate goal, and I've made contact with one agent to be exact. There's nothing concrete, but we have had multiple discussions, and from those discussions, I've also gotten documents, to give us guidelines of what scouts look for in players. The various aspects, the emotional, the social, the physical disposition, all that. So that has propelled us to tweak our program a lot more to meet that international standard. Per se, to get players into any specific club, no, but we are still working on that. Reached out to a number of the big clubs, but sometimes coming from our little country, it's a task. However, one way we would plan to substitute for that now is it's good when we travel and play international tournaments, because most of those tournaments, there are scouts there and they see our players. To be exact, we traveled the last year to the ESPN Disney Cup and we played pretty well, and one of our youngsters, under 12, got scouted. We eventually turned down the opportunity because we know he's way more talented and we think we can get a better deal for him. So that's one way we plan to get our players. If we can travel twice or 3 times a year, once we get past the pandemic and football gets to some level of normalcy. And we'll be preparing them now not to be the skillful superstar that everybody thinks is good in Jamaica, but to meet that international standard that is being sought after, so they can transition into greater levels of football.
And that's a very interesting and solid point that you made there, Raymond, because of course you are providing a product, right? And in the world of work right now, you want to ensure that your product is up to the standards on the international level. Right. Because with your knowledge and your ideas behind this club, I don't think you just want to stay at the local level in terms of turning out local players, but you want to ensure that your product can go on the international level. And that is something very good. Now, what sort of motivation are you getting now in this pandemic? Are you getting players out to still come to training and so forth? Talk to us about that.
Well, yeah. I think when I speak, I don't know if I speak for everyone who has an academy like myself, because as you know, there are quite a few around. It has been a very challenging time, and for us personally, we have been hit extremely hard because before the pandemic, we had an Easter camp plan, a very good Easter camp, and we got Corporate Jamaica on board to sponsor the camp, sponsor the boys and stuff because of the whole package that we were offering and the whole development aspect of it. And also we planned again, we had plans to travel to the ESPN tournament to play again in 2 different age groups this time and not one. So all that was in place, and then, everything went downhill with the pandemic. And from there, it has been extremely challenging. I mean, from the loss of our training ground, because it's a government field that we use, so, the restrictions of not having the field to train because it falls in the recreational space protocol. So we have had in and out training in the earlier stages of it, but since we have gotten the second spike where it has gotten to community spread and stuff, we have not trained. There was a great time when I had a lot of Zoom session with the boys. So we did a lot of online sessions where we did small skill work, physical work, some theory, just to keep them sharp. But this second phase has hit us really hard and we haven't done anything. So we're still in touch with the boys and the parents, and we're trying to see how best we can retweak and start again some form of physical contact with the boys going forward.
Okay, well said. Now, Raymond, you were not one of those top of the top footballers who would quote unquote say you're a former footballer and so forth. Yeah. How did you convince these parents to get their youngsters a part of this academy, knowing that there are a lot more academies out there and it is a very competitive space? You want to highlight or you want to keep that secret close to your heart?
Well, I think I can share. I think one result speaks for themselves, and the track record of the intercollegiate. And oh, I didn't even mention I coached at the business house there for about 2 years. Did pretty well with Heart Trust. But I think at the intercollegiate level, I gained a lot of confidence and experience working with young adults and teenagers, and then with business also, big man older than myself here, and moving on pretty well. Started rubbing shoulders with some of the greater coaches or more established coaches in the island. And then at the primary level, after putting my theory ideology in practice, we became a dominant force with the team that I was coaching for 5 years straight. We were always there in the finals, always about winning the doubles, So I think the track record of the results and how I deal with the boys, it is allowing them to express themselves, teaching them the game. So I can sit on the sideline and have my boys playing a game and I'm not barking at them and shouting at them because we do the work in the training ground. I have them understanding the basics of the game, what is done, what you do in a situation, why you make this decision. Allow them to develop because at the younger stage, and it's something we need to go to in the island, it's not about winning. It's about developing that individual to understand the game, how to play, what to do, when to do, why you do it, where you do it. And when you get them doing that, the wins eventually come. And I've tried it, and it has been proven from 2016. We've always been there. Even when people think we have a watered down team, we're always in the top three, in the finals, making our way through. So I think that's one of the reasons the parents are on board with us, plus our vision for the academy. We're not all about developing footballers, but the holistic person. And this is one of our secrets we share because I think it would be good if a lot of other programs take it on. We monitor our boys academically, socially, and in the sport. So it doesn't matter the school that they're at. We ask for permission from their parents. They sign off on a permission slip, and we can check on those boys, how they're performing in school, what are their behaviors like, how their works are going in homework, that. So we monitor them from that perspective, and we all know the boys love to play, or even if you're coach girls, they want to compete. So if you set a standard and they know they have to meet that standard to compete, trust me, they're rise to it.
Very critical points there you are making there, Raymond, because it's not all about winning at this age and this stage of their development. And with your background being a teacher, it is quite easy for you to also get to these youngsters, and that is a plus for you. Now, I heard you mention earlier about having 3 players in the youth program. Is that the only success rate that you have had for your academy thus far, knowing that it is still in the teething stage?
Yes, that's the only success we have at the moment. The local tournaments that have been played, I think, of my memory, we have won one of them at the U6 level. We have been in the semi-finals of a couple of them and so forth. But we've always done well. But as I said, that's not the ultimate goal for us to win tournament. It's to see how our players are developing. So we started tracking, the progress of our players, their physical strength, speed, understanding of the game. So that's where we're going now to a more analytical standpoint to see how our players develop. So as it relates to success, those are the only successes we have. Those 3 boys who have got scouted are called to the national program, and also 2 of them who have represented. So those are the only successes we have.
All right, awesome. Now we're out of time here, Raymond, on the coach's desk today. Yes, when things are going pretty well, time seems to just shoot on. But we just wanted to share some of before we jump out of here, I just wanted to share the levels or the age group of persons that you'd have worked with. Where can people find you if they want to get a part of this Total Academy? Because, we're going to put this out, many persons will be watching, and, interest will be forthcoming.
Well, I can reiterate what you just said. Time flies when you're really having fun, because I'm enjoying this discussion, to be frank, really do. But we coach boys and the girls. We open up to girls recently, but we have, I think, two. But we mainly focus on boys currently, which we're trying to get into girls, the girls side of the program. We're trying to get a female or two female coaches on board, but to speed up things. We work with boys from ages 4 to 16 at the moment. So that's why we want to see how best we can get them transition in. And we are located at NWC Field, that's where we train in Mona, that's the backfield. And the people can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Total Football Academy. You just need to look us up and reach out to us. You can send us email, messages. We always respond, just to give an update of whatever concerns you need to find out about.
All right, well said. And you are doing a fantastic job there, Raymond. Continue to do what you're doing to impact the minds of these youngsters through football. And I hope you will continue to find the success that you're seeking for with these youngsters through your Total Football Academy. It was fun having you here on the show today. Thank you very much for giving us the chance to have an interview with you. And I do hope that you enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much, Minzy. It was a pleasure being here as well. And likewise, enjoy your day.
Thank you.
All right. So cool.